Yo, what's going on, guys? Dallas with Chaos Fragrances. Today we're back with another episode of Fragrant Face-Offs. This is going to be a pretty popular battle between two fragrances that smell very, very similar. And I'm talking about Chanel Allure Homme Sport versus Versace Pour Homme. So these two fragrances right here, they do smell very similar. I do believe that this one was out first before this one, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of interesting. They do smell very similar. They do have some slight kind of variations, some slight differences, so we're going to go ahead and go over that in today's video. So let's start off with Versace Pour Homme. So like I said, these episodes aren't going to be a review. I'm just going to kind of quickly go over them. So this one, very bright, very citrusy, very fresh, smells really, really good. Definitely an office staple. Pretty sure this has been in everyone's office lists. Unfortunately, this one has been reformulated several times, I'm sure, and the performance isn't really the best. It does project really well and really strong. It just doesn't last that long, which for me, I'd almost rather have the opposite. I prefer my fragrances to last really long to get me through the day, but I'm not so upset if they don't project well, because people are going to be coming closer to me anyway, and that's when they can smell. So that's just my personal opinion. So I do wish this lasted longer, but either way, still a solid fragrance. This DNA is just a masterpiece. It's classic. It's been around for a long time. Similar thing with this fragrance. Again, very nice smelling. This one is slightly more powdery, a little bit more creamy to my nose, whereas this one is a little bit more bright, a little bit more kind of fresh and sharp, invigorating. So that's the kind of main difference that I pick up. This does have this more kind of creaminess, this powderiness that I kind of almost prefer. However, like I said, this one's still kind of a little bit more bright, but again, they both smell very, very similar. To be honest, no one's probably going to recognize the difference in public, just smelling your sillage and things like that. As far as which one I prefer, that's where it gets tricky, because what I've noticed as far as performance-wise, this one lasts a little bit longer, projects, relatively okay, about moderate, whereas this one projects really good, a lot better, but doesn't last as long. So you can see it's a little bit of a trade-off as far as which performance is better, and then to factor in the fact that this costs so much more than this one, which we'll get to in a minute, but that's why I've noticed this one lasts a little bit longer, this one projects a little bit better. So just kind of a trade-off there. Again, as far as the smell goes, it is up to you. It's up to your taste. I almost do prefer the kind of creaminess, the powderiness of this one a little bit better. However, like I said, this one's still great, still has that sharp brightness. And again, this one's sharp and bright too, just a little bit more creamy, a little bit more powdery. This one also smells maybe a little bit less sharp in the opening, whereas this one's a little bit more sharp. So really the differences are so minimal that you yourself need to decide it. Sample them, try them, pick which one you like better. But if I had to recommend one, it would have to be this one. And the reason why is because at the price, all right? I love Chanel fragrances. They make great fragrances, but the performance to price ratio is a joke. Let's be honest. If I'm paying like $130 for this 5-ounce bottle, I want that fragrance to last. I want 8, 9, 10 hours. Projection really good, all right? I just don't get that with that fragrance. Really, any of the Chanel fragrances. Allure Homme Sport, which will be in another face-off coming up here soon. Same thing, I paid that much money for a bottle, and I don't get this beast mode projection that I want. And with this, you pay about, $40 for this bottle, and you get really good projection, not the best longevity, and you do get a very good, timeless scent DNA that's been around, that is tried and proven, and that works. To me, that's why I would have to recommend this one. It's just not worth the extra price to go with this one, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, because I'm trying to help you. Me as a collector, I don't regret that I own this one or this one. I do like them both. As weird as that sounds, they do smell, like I said, very similar. But that's just part of being a collector, right? If I had to recommend you one, it would be this one. So I guess you could say this one does win the battle for today. Like I said, you can't go wrong with either of them. If you like the powderiness and the creaminess, just the overall smell of, if you do like the powderiness and the creaminess of Allure Homme Sport better, then, go for it. But for me, just as my recommendation to you, I just wouldn't be able to justify you spending the extra money on that one when you can grab this one for so much cheaper. And the fact that the performance of both of them really aren't that good anyway. So if you do want a fragrance that smells like one of these, it would have to be this one. There are better alternatives, I think, to both of these now, because these are kind of dated, but that's for another topic. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Fragrant Face-Offs. If you did, please be sure to like the video. Comment down below, tell me which one you prefer. And also leave a comment telling me which face-off you want to see next. I've been getting a lot of good ideas from you guys. My list has been building up, so I'm going to be cranking these out. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, rate. Peace.